Hey everyone, this is Davis over at the CFG Game Cast. I'd like to thank you everyone who is listening to us. We are so glad and proud of what we have been making here for almost the past 3 years and really appreciate it. I was just wanting to let y'all know that there was a major mistake when we recorded this last episode. I was referring that episode to be episode 197. That was a full-on false. It's actually episode 198. We were out last week because I was incredibly sick and definitely didn't even go over my mind here that we already did a 197. So this is actually 198. So enjoy. Welcome to the CFG Game Cast, episode number 197, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers alike to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode every week and release it on podcast services like Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Podbean, and so much more. So show us some love. Do us a favor and follow, like, or subscribe to our YouTube channel, the CFG channel, or go to our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com, to not miss an episode. I am Mr. CFG Games himself, Davis Green, and with me today, I got my two awesome co-hosts. I got Lex in the second seat. What is going on, my cyborg?
Hello. I played lots of games this week. So we've got like a new little spoopy crew. It's like half us. It was technically supposed to be just me and one other person, and then other people got in on it. But we're playing the Quarry, like couch co-op style, but we're all elsewhere. We skipped this week, but I played lots of Alan Wake. I played The Seventh Guest on VR, which... now looking back, may have been a slight mistake due to my headache and face problems. If I look like I'm making a mean face, I promise it's not me. I don't have control over my facial muscles all that much. It's been a fun thing. I did go to the doctor, don't worry. They were also concerned, so that was fun. But yeah, I got a nice massage. I played Don't Scream. I beat it. Haha.
Nice.
The trick is to sit back and just anticipate everything.
The trick is to just leave the room and just don't let it go.
Well, someone was like, can't you just mute? If you mute your mic, like, I wasn't sure if my vape was going to catch the microphone and it'd be like, oh, you made a noise, you lose. But when you mute it, it shows like a big mute button and it pauses your time. So you can't mute your microphone. To beat the game, but I had muted it just to hit my vape real fast, but it let me continue to play. But yeah, no, I'm really liking that game. I'm really liking Seventh Guest. That was a lot of fun VR experience. I did have to pull my seat back because I am not allowed to play VR standing up after.
You shouldn't be allowed to play VR, period, at this point.
Ow.
Yes.
I don't
I'm sorry. I just can't. It's like I just see the nightmare scenarios and I think it's just too much.
Well, I did play VR at a friend's house, and because it was set to their 6'4" dimensions, and for whatever reason would not relearn that I was not 6'4" and I was 5 foot. So I played a scary game at their house, and instead of being able to, bend down and pick something up, I would have to be smart about it and like put my arm through the bars of the stairwell kind of scenario. But when things would get heated, I would try to run. You can't do that when you're playing VR. Learn that the hard way. I put a hole in his wall. He opened the door to use the bathroom for just a second, not realizing that I would somehow fall through it. Luckily, into his arms. Sorry, Mike. I fell into his trash can and got stuck. So yeah, after that, I have to play seated. But I did a good job. I'm getting better at it because I do play VR and I play like Beat Saber and stuff for exercise. So I did good. I did poke my monitor once and knock something over on my desk, but that was the worst of it.
You know what's funny to me? I'm just thinking of myself as like, hey, so a VR headset and stuff costs about $550, but it's like, hey, have VR fun and spend thousands of dollars of repairs in your house because of the stuff that you're gonna break because of this.
Look,
like,
I fixed this wall. I fixed this wall, and it was my head that did kind of go through it. But I did fix it. So I'm a really good little repairman. So I did. But yeah, Seventh Guest was great. They remastered it for VR. It was fantastic. I think most of my review was, wow. That's all I can say. But the puzzles were really difficult, and I'm stuck. So I'm gonna have to play that again very soon. See how that goes. But we're gonna play Lethal Company, which I've been waiting all week, and I'm excited.
Looking forward to that one. That's cool. Hey, but Lex.
Yes.
You know who is now an official entrepreneur in his own right?
I do. His name is
the 5-star general of the itty bitty Smitty committee. I got Smitty in the third seat. What's going on, my dude?
Oh, chilling. It's been busy. Was earlier this week released an interview with Devin Totso she's a community manager for Starlight. So it's always nice. It's a great organization. I love working with them. And she just talked about just being able to meet up with and talk with the folks that do so much to, bring attention and obviously funding to these companies. This is the same charity that we did the Summerlin Hospital, Children's Hospital, and brought the gaming station over there. So, that was a lot of fun being able to speak with them and gaming. Super Mario RPG is out. I played the crap out of that. I haven't really gotten a chance to play a ton. I've been getting more back into Overwatch 2. Been playing competitive on that. That's right. I saw your face.
I didn't right I didn't say anything. I didn't change.
Not you, Lex.
Mine. Why? I'm curious.
I just Destiny. Like right now, dude. Like I have no desire to play Destiny.
You're in the lull
at all. Yeah, it's a big lull. So it's just like one of those games that are always just fun. I will always have fun playing Overwatch. And it's just fun for me. Like obviously, it's got issues and stuff like that, but they're at least bringing new characters, different modes, and things like that. So there's a lot more to do in there than just doing the same things, at least from previous. So that was fun. But my main focus right now has been Super Mario RPG and all that stuff. We got the Game Awards coming up here in a couple weeks as well. So gearing up for that. So it's been busy, man. And of course, like you said, the LLC is official. RS Entertainment, all encompassing. So we'll see and kind of where we go from here with that stuff and moving forward. So it's been solid, mine.
That's very cool, dude. That's awesome. I know you've been busy with all of that. So that's glad you got that finally up and running. So oh man, but as for me, like I've been busy as hell too. I have been going through I went through a massive amount of different interviews in a short period of time. I released my Jacqueline Pignol interview, the voice of Rio Morales from Spider-Man 2 weeks ago.
That was great.
Yeah, that was a really good one. It's kind of sucks though too. I really don't like short interviews like that, especially when they were released out in podcast form. This one was like a 20-minute interview, and I made sure that I, took my time, got my time done in like accordingly. And, but it was a good one. A lot of people liked it. So maybe, I don't know, maybe shorten the amount of time. I don't know. We'll see. But then also this week, I also went to the back crew of a anime event called Anime Frontier. So I talked to 3 different people, the vice president of anime content. It was really interesting. They had some interesting titles and stuff in this thing. But it was a really fun time with that. Then I also picked up Mario. I also too started my first playthrough ever. I cannot believe this is one of the RPGs.
Insane to me.
Yeah, one of the RPGs I've never. What's funny? I don't think I've ever played a Mario RPG before. Like I've never played Paper Mario. I never played the Paper Mario series.
I've never played Paper Mario either.
Yeah,
but dude, Super Mario RPG was so good. It was like one of the first RPGs that I played, and they do such a good job of like explaining how to play an RPG and the mechanics of what you can expect from an RPG. It's great learning tool.
Yeah, it's it like I won't say beginner RPG, but it does definitely transition you that if you've never played an RPG before, especially during that time, which was 96, I believe it came out. that it kind of transitioned you on learning how this genre worked, and I think it did a really good job on it. And it's incredibly interactive. Like you're always constantly pressing buttons in it, and I definitely love it. So yeah, but no, I streamed a little bit of it here on this channel, the CFG channel, or CFG Games, and had a great time. I love the game, dude. The game is great. So but other than that, then next week I also have my next thing I need to take care of, another set of interviews I'm going to be taking care of here, so that's going to be fun. So but I know, it's actually, I was actually, I might as well ask this to y'all on the air, but like, because we are literally like at the cusp of 200, and I wasn't really sure if what I was wanting to do, but so like
naked stream.
Oh, what, a baking stream or a naked stream?
I said naked stream.
Oh, okay, you can by all means, Smitty. Oh boy, yeah. So like, but I wasn't sure because like I was because like I had a person that was wanting to be a part of the 200, and I was thinking at 200. If we can make that our games of the by the time if we estimate, it should be the beginning of December, and I think December is a good cutoff in general because
last episode of the season,
game of the year. Yeah, we can make game of the year of it. But then again, wait, hold on. So
wouldn't we want to wait till after that?
When is the Game
the 7th,
Awards?
I think.
Yeah, I want to wait till after the Game Awards, but the
I would say the weekend after that, right? Which would be like the 15th or something, maybe
16th.
16th.
That's 16th. Wow. Okay, so the 16th would be okay. So that's one. Okay, are we? We're definitely doing.
That's
are we doing?
Christmas.
Are we doing anything on next week? Like for because of Thanksgiving.
You guys.
Well, I wasn't sure if y'all are going to be in town for Thanksgiving.
Thursday. I am.
Are you going to be out of town?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, so like I didn't know if y'all going out of town for the holidays or whatever. So.
No.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah. So if we do everything straight, that's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 more episodes left. So I say the 16th is going to be okay. Yeah, the 16th. We could probably do. Yeah, we could probably say the 16th is the last day of it, so it could be the last episode of the year. And then we can. And then I can invite the person that was interested in wanting to talk about our game of the year discussion. This time around. So yeah, that's so.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So
I don't know who it is.
A 4-person one. There was 2 actually people that were interested, but I don't know. But we'll see. We'll definitely see. But
I like that. I think I would love to have more people on. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would love it too. I mean, I just wasn't sure if y'all were up to it, up for trying it.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So okay. Well, I'll definitely keep that in mind. We'll definitely go from there.
We've done 4-person ones before. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
I know, but we have never done it for Game of the Year. I'm talking about specifically.
Oh, yeah.
I
totally
understood what you meant.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I was like, what is this dude talking about? You okay with it? Yeah, dude.
It's like come on, get with the picture. Yeah. See. Yeah. So, like, we're see that, and that is why
we're only live for an hour.
That would be the CFG. That would be the special show after, like, that we'll post on, like, that we post on the CFG members club for it if you wanted to see it. Yeah. Because that's what would have happened. Oh my God. But anyways, okay, guys. Well, I know we don't want to talk about the future. Well, it's actually ironic, but we are going to talk about Game of the Year. But the rigmaroles that we like to do each and every week. So we go through the normal. Let's just go through it like we normally do. So each of us chooses every topic, video game topic, a discussion of the previous week. The topic would or could be a game itself or something that happened in the gaming industry, and we do not want to talk about it amongst ourselves. We want you, the listeners and viewers on Twitch, on YouTube, on Kick, to be a part of the conversation. So if there's something that you're wanting to chime in about or whatever we talk about, by all means, just type it inside the chat. We would love to discuss it with you and have a nice, good old conversation. So let's get this party started. I will go first because the big thing, the biggest thing for me this week was that they released, Jeff Keighley released the Game Awards of this year of 2023. I was talking about it a little bit because someone brought it up to me when I was streaming the other day, and we looked through the list, So I was looking through the list a little bit. I will say it's gotten a lot better than what they normally do, you know? But however, there are some things there I'm like, what the hell, dude? Like, don't mind the game of the year itself like that. But here we go. I chose the wrong scene, my bad. But the big thing is this, it's like, I don't understand, like Resident Evil 4 being a game of the year contender is a little extreme to me. That one was just like, what is going, like, why would they put that as a game of the year? There was I mean, it's a good game. However, it's a game that came out 20 years ago. A game that came out 20 years ago, and then like the graphics.
Which one you're talking about? Which game? Sorry.
Resident Evil 4.
That's what I thought.
The game itself is the only thing that they didn't do. The only thing that they added to this game is a first person view mode. In itself, they did amp up the graphics, and they did add an additional like DLC content with Ada Wong. They extended the story more to Ada Wong, but to say to the level that that's going to be game of the year, it totally snuffed out Starfield. I'm not saying that Starfield had a chance, in my opinion, but it totally snuffed out Starfield, Final Fantasy 16, all these different ones and stuff. But like, it's just overall, I kind of feel like that's a little bit of a crazy one that kind of came in. And another one, and it's not because I hate it, but it's just weird that it went into the contentionship of it, was Alan Wake 2. Because when this was announced, it was a week. It just came out a week, and Alan Wake 2 is now a game of the year contender on it. And I was just like, this is kind of like, what is happening? Like, it just hit that bar, and then they're like, we're going to run away with it. You know, it's like, what is happening with it? So, yeah, so that, some of that was a little weird. But obviously I think Baldur's Gate 3 is going to win it, in my opinion. Like, it's just a good old fashioned thing. Zelda doesn't run. I don't think Zelda kicks the way that the first version of the first Legend of Zelda did. It was, I mean, it's a good game, but it's still the original one. Like, it's still the first version of the game, in my opinion. They didn't really add nothing, in my opinion. What do y'all think? I mean, like, what do you think, Smitty? Like, what's your game of the year pick for this out of the six?
I had the same reaction with Resident Evil 4. I hear it's like one of the best Resident Evils, but still, it's a remake. It should not be up for a contender. And you're right, it's snuffed out. Dude, Final Fantasy 16, that story, I think for me anyway, was one of the best Final Fantasy stories. And I haven't, again, there's a ton I haven't played, but they did such a great job with that story. Starfield, how can you possibly, I get it, it wasn't a perfect game, there's all kinds of things, but it was at least a new IP. It's something different. The crafting ability, the fact that it was on Game Pass and stuff like that, how that gets completely passed up, dude, was, I would have been kind of salty if I was them as well, dude. It's like, how does something like that happen? And there was other things too. And again, I'm not saying it was the greatest game, but like, you had things like Hogwarts that sold a ton of games. Like, that didn't get nominated for anything. Like,
that is surprising.
Nothing at all. And that makes me wonder, like, does the politics within that and the things, I don't want to say politics, but does the socio, what's the word I'm looking for?
Climate? I don't know.
Yeah, basically around, and that stigma around that game does that have anything to do with them saying, you know what, we're not even gonna bring it up in the conversation for anything because we don't want to deal with it. Which again, to me, in my opinion, that's kind of unfair to the folks that worked on the game that had nothing to do, with that stuff and whatnot. I know it's a supercharged thing, but Resident Evil 4 did not belong on that list for me.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, and I kind of agree with the Alan Wake take as well. It's like, dude, it literally came out a week ago. You're telling me of all these banger games for 2023, that game, and it may have very well have done that for a lot of folks.
We're not saying specifically that it's a bad. The game is bad. Yeah. It's just kind of weird that they
didn't
decided
have enough time to simmer.
Yeah,
like, I think you have to be overwhelmingly
like Marvel Spider-Man. Yeah,
like
Marvel Spider-Man 2 came out like 2 weeks prior to Alan Wake, but the reason why it's understandable why Spider-Man 2 is there because it sold almost 5 million copies in less than 3 weeks. So like,
right.
and then just
not only that, but it's a shorter game too. So like people were able to crank through. You know what I mean? And again, I don't know how long Alan Wake 2 is, but that's more the fact that they actually had to delay I don't know if it was because of technical things or because of the window for drop for games, but they delayed, remember, and pushed it back to the 27th as opposed to it. I think it was supposed to happen like a week or two earlier.
Right. It was.
Yeah. So, I mean, to me, that's more of a timing thing. But I would have been, I personally, I would have been salty, especially being a Final Fantasy 16 or a Starfield where it's like, damn, dude, like, we don't even get the nod. Like, bro, like, I know it wasn't mind blowing, but like, I thought they were at least deserving of a nod.
Lex, you were going to say something?
So, okay. I agree with you guys. My thoughts on the Resident Evil remake, absolutely. I was confused as to why it was on the list. I thought Starfield would be on the list. It is not. I was shocked. I think that should have taken the place of Resident Evil. That's just my 2 cents. Hey, we all have opinions, and you know what they say about opinions. So here's the thing. I think Alan Wake 2 is phenomenal. I think it deserves to be on the list.
Oh, no. Like I said, I think Alan Wake should definitely be on the list. But to say game of the year, I think that's a little, it's an uphill battle to justify it.
I disagree.
You really,
it's so good. It's so good. I don't want to give any spoilers for anyone that hasn't played it yet. It is so good. I will be playing it all 3 ways. I think Alan Wake 2 deserves to be on there. I am also a little confused as to why they gave the 2 weeks. They'd given a reason, and now it has dumped out of my brain because apparently I needed to take on other information that was important at the time. Right. A Baldur's Gate, I absolutely. Why
game of the year?
Again, why is Starfield not on there, but Resident Evil remake is? When because I've watched people play it, and I was like, oh, this is the original. No, that's the remake. That is the remake. So to me, that's what baffles me. I don't know. I think I didn't even want to play Starfield, and I think just seeing what I've seen from it, it looks beautiful. It looks fantastic. It looks well done. Any bugs and glitches have been worked on. The soundtrack was phenomenal, and I feel like with a game, soundtrack is everything, just like it is when I'm playing Alan Wake 2. The soundtrack for that is also phenomenal. I feel like every little piece has been done beautifully. Any issues I have had with the game personally have been my computer, not the game. So, and they're also working like round the clock to put out updates for that as well.
You know what though? But like I would say this though.
Disagree with Resident Evil. Why?
Yeah, it's probably to that point. Poppy Hendricks says inside here in the chat, like anyone can here on Twitch or on YouTube, says that this just goes to show that the state of video games are in a remake. That's where they're in. A remake is in a game of the year convo is crazy. No. I totally agree. I mean, I'm just like, this is like. You basically wasted the slot in that personally, in my personal opinion. And I think like out of this year, the kind of year that we have for games that came out, there's so many, I think, more other contenders that should have a better chance, especially a game that came out 20 years ago. Like even now, because like when we do our end of the year conversations, I've put the stipulation that it cannot be a remake of a game. The only game that may be out that I would probably kind of say out of the caveat of that would be Final Fantasy VII Remake, because that game is night and day difference than what the original one was.
Right.
So
that's different though. Yeah. Like it's not
a remake. It's like a complete game. It's a completely different game.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and even then it's so beautifully done. And again, it is night and day. And I was shocked that Alan Wake 2 was on the game of the year. After playing it, I'm not shocked because of how good it's done. So it makes me wonder if people got early access to the game.
I think most definitely they had to have.
Yeah, but it's a long game.
Yeah.
It is a long game.
I've done 7 sessions so far, and I don't think I'm halfway done.
Jeez.
Well, something I feel that I have to give I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off here.
No, you're fine.
I just wanted to give, before I forget, mad respect. I felt like it was pretty innovative of them to intertwine digital with real media and assets. To be able to do that and do that in a non-cheesy, corny way, I think is that's exceptional. That is exceptional, because that is not an easy task. I can only imagine being able to do, especially in a way to make it flow and not take you out of the scene that you're in or whatever's happening within the game. Bravo to them. Bravo to them. So again, I can't really that one to me is more of a timing thing, and I haven't played it. I haven't watched anybody or anything like that, so I can't really speak on it. To me, the biggest thing was I thought it was BS that Resident Evil 4 was on there. And again, this isn't saying that Resident Evil 4 isn't good. I just don't think it belongs.
It doesn't. No,
it
does not belong there.
They had their chance a long time ago, and then it should be another person's turn. I think that's where I stand with it. But the things I've always my thing I've always criticized about the Game Awards is some of these topics or the categories, just they need to stop with some of these. Like, for instance, the best ongoing game is one of my most annoying ones, because it's always going to be the same games that are always nominated. It's like Apex Legends, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, Genshin Impact, or what's it called? Like they need
in Destiny.
Yeah.
After they just laid off a bunch
Destiny
of people.
Destiny didn't get on there. Oddly enough, out of all those, the fifth one was Cyberpunk 2077. What the hell? That is not even.
Destiny's on that list, dude.
It says best. I'm looking at the list right now. Best ongoing game: Apex Legends, Cyberpunk 2077, Final Fantasy 14, Fortnite, and Genshin Impact.
Destiny was best community something.
Yeah, which is also a weird one. Yeah, it's like, really? I mean, some of them I'm just like, why? Or the one category that they absolutely should remove is the best or most anticipated game. Because I hate the fact that that a game that's not even out yet is going to win.
Like saying, that's like saying best marketing. Who did the best marketing?
Exactly. It's like,
that's what it is.
Like they haven't even proven themselves out in the market, or even let alone even reviewers don't even have a chance. This is like, that hype was so big. So you're saying that Anthem would have had the chance to gotten the Game Award before they came out, or something like that in their math. That really, those categories I think should be removed completely, in my opinion. But other than that,
weird. That's a weird category.
Can you imagine if if the Oscars decided to say, okay, what's the most anticipated movie that's coming out next year?
Who did the best hype job?
Yeah. Yeah, I never understood why they always put that. They put that. Yeah, here it is. Most anticipated games: Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hades 2, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Star Wars Outlaws, and Tekken 8. So, okay, this is ridiculous. it's ridiculous. Oh, it's only Cap best community layoffs 2023. That's messed up.
Yeah, I said the field is wide open. It is an ever-growing field.
Yes,
basically on a daily, dude.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous, man. Yeah, it's such, don't get me wrong. I think the Game Awards has something there, but they need to they need to find better categories for some of this stuff, or make consistent sense of it, because there's some things best fighter. Oh, the one that I think the one that they always like to randomly put stuff in is best fighter. Let me see if I can find it. Best fighting game. Okay, here it is. Best fighting games: God of Rock, Mortal Kombat 1, Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2, Pocket Bravery, Street Fighter 6. And I'm like, dude, there was that's more insane. Okay, so God of Rock, I know what that is, and that's a rhythmic card game, if I remember correctly. Yeah, and then Mortal Kombat 1, obviously.
We're so in this group.
It's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna throw it right here. I like they just need better care for this stuff, like that. So I don't know, like yeah, that's just my critique for the Game Awards. Am I gonna watch it? Probably not, but like I'll just see what the results are. I usually don't even apply for myself in it, but still we'll see.
I'll watch just because I think there's a possibility that we get the GTA 6 trailer that drops, because early December, Game Awards is early December. I think we might get some spicy trailers, but in terms of some of those things, I'll watch it just because I you know what I mean, like I'll watch it.
Yeah.
And Poppy Hendricks in the chat said maybe we should just make a remake of the year category instead of remaking games, since remaking games is
that would be better.
Absolutely,
that would be a lot better. Yeah.
Right? Why is it up in there for game of the year? It's not though.
Replace, there are so many game of the year remakes nowadays that you should make that a category at this point.
Absolutely.
Like, remove what's one of these other pieces of crap, which we're going to also be talking about another game that's coming out, and then maybe switch over to that, because I mean it's kind of ridiculous with some of this stuff. Best community, it's like that's so weird to even ask that question. I love the donks though. Piggyback with that, with the biggest CEO bonus check, huh?
Why do you think the best community support is?
Because weird. It's 100% subjective, depending on which community will show up on the polls is going to be the best one. Can you imagine that? Like, can you imagine if the Call of Duty community is going? Yeah, no, hell no.
Everyone knows that they're toxic, so
yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm just saying that like it's just a weird like category to put in, because it's like, okay, so that's 100% opinion towards it.
See, and I agree with that, but I think that's more of just honoring the fact that, especially with games, that there are people and these liaisons between the community as a whole and like the company developers a game, and to be able to curate something like that, especially as big as some of these are, in my opinion, is quite impressive. To me, I don't have a problem with that being something, at least some sort of recognition that's still within the gaming sector that isn't necessarily thought of as often, I guess.
That is true, but however, this is the problem I have. You have games like Destiny 2 and No Man's Sky. How old is Destiny 2?
Shut up.
That's what I'm saying. That's my point. How is that even like we're in 2023? This game came out almost 10 years ago, and they're still getting categories for this? I'm just saying. I'm just like, okay, that's my point. Dude, No Man's Sky is on this list still. Like, I mean, that's what I'm like.
What do you mean? They've made all kinds of changes.
They have, and they're constantly changing. But like,
and they keep doing it.
Community support, but that's the only category that they're nominated for this year. But still, I'm just saying that like when we're saying that we're having issues with Resident Evil 4 giving other games a chance because it just seems like a slot to leave. It's the same kind of thing for this, because it's like they're always in this slot because they're always gonna have they're always in these weird like perma spots. That's what I'm saying.
I get what they're trying to do there, but yeah.
It's weird. It's the same game over and over again. It's just like best ongoing game. It's like, can't you just, okay, if you want to say ongoing game, say best MMO or something like that. I don't know, but it's like it's just, some of these categories are kind of stupid. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, Poppy, the COD community is way more toxic than the Overwatch community. In my opinion.
Well, yeah, because COD is a lot bigger than the OW.
Yeah.
OW burnt their own bridges when it comes to that, but still, anyways, we need to move on. But yeah, so the Game Awards, when is it, Smitty? When you say it's coming out?
I believe it's December 7th.
December 7th. Oh, wow. Okay. And December 7th, and you can watch it online on Twitch. This is usually the best way to watch it, but still, tell me what you think. If you love, or tell us if we're right or wrong. Comments below inside our YouTube page on the CFG. Who is up next? Let's go with Smitty, actually. Smitty, What did you bring into the table?
I hope you guys are ready to be even more pissed off. Speaking of remakes and remasters, we had a conversation about this at some point in time, and I remember we landed on, ain't no way in hell this is legit. It's just been too soon. Well, apparently we were wrong. And it had leaked, and Naughty Dog has confirmed that they are working on The Last of Us 2 remastered. Why? I have no freaking clue. It literally does not change much. They're basically saying they're remastering it for the PlayStation 5. Mind you, this game came out in 2020. That's only been 3 years, y'all. They're adding obviously support for 1440p, 4K support. They've got a like roguelite mode that like kind of randomizes things, which that I could see being pretty cool. There was talks about doing a free play and being able to acquire like instruments and like freely play the instruments in game. This
game is going to be $70 and they're going to say, oh, you can play instruments.
Well, it says if you already own The Last of Us Part 2 on PS4, you can upgrade to the digital version of Remastered for $10. So it'll still cost you if you have it, which we all have it. But the fact they're tacking on, remember at one point in time where it was like free updates going from PS4 to PS5. This is a freaking update. This is an update. This is not a full-fledged game.
Wait,
this is
they're not
insane to me.
They're not going to the same path of what they did with The Last of Us 1, which was they built it from the ground up to like, you know, the build it from the ground up for the PS5, but rather they're just upgrading the graphics to it. Like
essentially, so I'll read directly from this quote directly from the Verge article. It says the biggest new addition seems to be a roguelike survival mode called No Return that's designed to let players prove their mettle and randomize encounters and experience The Last of Us Part 2's combat in a fresh experience. Blah, blah, blah. You'll be able to play some new characters and work through various stealth and combat encounters that will put you against a range of enemies. As for technical improvements, Dornbush says that offers native 4K output in fidelity mode, 1440p upscaled to 4K, some other unlocked frame rates, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and some cut levels with developer commentary, some levels that were incomplete or whatever. Those are the changes that I'm seeing in this. This is an update. This is not how they are selling this as a remaster. You're right. This is not like a ground up. Because where do you start from the ground up when the ground up was just like right over there? It wasn't even that far off from where you're at now.
It came out the same year as the PS5.
Yes. This is insane. This is insanity to me. This feels like such a cash grab. Not to mention, Naughty Dog just laid off folks not too long ago as well, along with, at least indefinitely, if not canceling, the multiplayer PvP that they were going to bring back, which was fantastic from The Last of Us, the first one. Yeah. So this just, I was just like, I don't want any part of it. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are. Is it something that you would get? Like, who is this even targeted to? I don't know.
Absolutely not. I am not. Because here's the thing with Last of Us for me. Like, Last of Us is a game that you play once. Like, especially the story itself. I don't have enough interest in it to a point that I want to pick it up. Like if it was free $99, if they give it to you with the cloud-based gaming that they would do, then maybe it's a different story. I would maybe give it a shot. But to say that I'm going to spend more money on a game that I haven't touched since 2020 when it came out, and me myself personally, I wasn't even a big fan of it. So this definitely isn't for me. But it is probably for people like Donk. That's inside the chat that's only played the first 20 minutes of it. that has a PS5 and may just be able to just say, hey, if I have the game already, and just upgrade it to 10 for $10 more, then there you go. But the problem is Last of Us 2 was still ridiculously popular. So there's a lot of people that have that game already, and then now you're telling me you're going to justify a $10 ride. Well, let's say everybody buys Last of Us 2 that already had it before. That means that these people will only pay $10 as opposed to what, the 70? I'm assuming it's going to be $70.
I imagine it's going to be 70.
Yeah, so it's guessing. So I don't know who this is really for. This is it's a good question that they're like to try to upsell like a 3-year-old game and stuff that's already successful as it is in its own self. And but now they can say that, we know, since we can do it, we're going to do it. And what's really sad about it is that like Naughty Dog is a beast production studio. They make really good games, but as of late they haven't been doing that. They've been on these weird nostalgia trips, trips to just kind of keep on playing, releasing, remastering, and remaking like the older games. It's like I'm kind of over it right now with them. So anyways, but yeah. So no, this is definitely not for me. I'm not going to pick this one up. It's definitely for people who haven't played it but may have played the first one or played the most recent remaster or whatever, or remake of it or whatever. But yeah, definitely not for me. What about you, Lex?
Look, I will play The Last of Us 1 and 2 again. I don't feel the need for it. Look, I've had 4 brain surgeries. I've got a lot of information that is filling my brain every day, and other stuff gets dumped out, right? So I don't remember every little detail that happened in the game. Okay, cool. But I don't know. If I received this as a gift, I would be excited. But I just don't feel like I need to shell out money for a game that I already own on my PlayStation 4 to play again. You know what I mean? I just, I'm good. And I loved The Last of Us. I loved The Last of Us 2. I think they were great. I love the TV show. I think it's great. I just, I don't see the need for it. I'm good. It's too soon. It's been 3 years. I can still hear Ravage screaming at me as I'm playing the ending. I'm good. Maybe if we hit the 5-year mark and they were like, yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Because here's the thing. Computers, our graphics cards are in the 4,000s right now. Like, where are they going to be in the next 6 months to a year? I just feel like maybe it's too soon, I guess. I don't know. I'm too iffy on it. And when I'm iffy, I don't make a move, Does that make sense?
No, it totally makes sense. Especially, a game like this is probably going to be on PC a lot faster than what the first one did. And I'd rather play it on PC. Yeah, but even overall and how it normally goes, I just think that's, I don't know, man. It is definitely not for me. We already know it's definitely not for me because we did do a spoiler cast on Last of Us 2 when it came out, and I think was I the only one that didn't like it? Y'all two were fine with it?
I loved it.
I absolutely loved it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I hate it. Yeah, I did. I think I did. Was a big fan of the I didn't like the story. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Right.
I was baffled that you hated it.
Why were you baffled? Really?
I think at the time I was like, no, there's no way that he can't not like this. No, he's stepping into my world. And then I was like, he loves story games. This one's horror.
Real particular on story. Yeah, dude, I am really picky when it comes to story. Like, for instance,
you're a picky person.
Well, Final Fantasy, I have to be, dude. I review a ton of different games. The whole thing. I can't just say this is a good one, but like when Final Fantasy 16 came out, like I said, I liked 16. 16 was a good game. Smitty loves it, really loves it. But then when I broke it down seriously, I was thinking to myself, 16 is a good game, but I think the biggest issue of it wasn't the story, but it was its gameplay, in my personal opinion. Because there was certain things, the biggest thing that I had that I had the biggest issue with in 16 is that there's no status effect attributes. and like yeah, but I'm just saying, there's like that's the kind of thing you got to part out in pieces and stuff like that throughout the whole thing to break it down to see where its flaws are, and if it's good enough to say game of the year. That's and that's why I didn't really. I kind of would say Final Fantasy 16 isn't a game of the year to me. It's still a good game, but it's not like the level of like like a Baldur's Gate and stuff like that. Like I mean, I am supposed to be really picky when it comes to that kind of stuff. I can't say 5 stars all the time.
No, I totally get that. I totally get that. I mean, it's definitely. I definitely don't think that Resident Evil 4 should have been on that list.
Resident Evil 4 just I don't know what that. You just saw me the first one when I read that I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense.
Literally, I was like, no, dude, this can't be right. I must be.
That would have been hilarious.
Is this an old copy of the list? Like what?
You know what would have been funny when kind of going back to that is it would be hilarious if it says like, hey, Metal Gear Solid Delta is also game of the year, apparently. It's like,
that would not fly at all.
It's like, oh, come on, man. But but anyways, but Last of Us 2, I guess. What was the date that they said this was coming out?
I just know that it was January 2024. I want to say like the 20th or the 24th. I can't remember. Oh, I'm sorry, the 19th. The 19th.
January 19th? Okay, cool. So
yep. January 19th.
Hopefully we'll see if they get
the training director's cut. Eventually I'll finish that game.
I'm not even interested in it.
I have to, dude, because Kojima, I gotta go. I love his stories, dude, but like that game was hard for me to stay interested in.
Did you really like Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain?
I loved it, dude. I loved it. It just was long.
I think it was like where
it was just long.
It just ends. It doesn't even really count.
And that's the other thing. Like, I don't even know. Like, it took me. Like, I didn't even know that I had beaten the game. Like, apparently, I had technically beaten it like weeks.
Don't you love when that happens?
It's like, is it over? Like,
it doesn't. There's no ending. There's absolutely no ending. It's open ended, man. Like, I was just like, what is this? Yeah.
I think I'm. It was like one of the most anticlimactic beating of a game. I did it on stream. I wasn't even sure if I had actually finished. I started doing extra missions I didn't even need to do.
You did everything. You inadvertently did everything, and you didn't even know if you finished it or not. That's what. If a game tells you that, then you know there's a giant problem with it. Yeah, that's all I'm just saying.
And I was so confused by the end, dude. But like again, you got to remember, I finished this game within like a 5 or 6 year window. So like a lot of like I didn't run it as a steady stream game, which I went and watched the videos.
I don't blame you. I do not blame you at all.
I was like, I will never run through this again. Although it was fun. Yeah. I just can't. There's too much out right now to be going back and trying to do things.
No kidding, man. Well, okay. Well, we'll see how Last of Us 2 goes. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to be The Last of Us talking about it. So, hey, that's cool. That was a good segue.
Well, what's interesting is I thought it would come around when the show would come around, but the show, I don't even think it's coming out until
probably
2025.
Yeah, probably in 2 years.
Yeah,
The writers
I thought they
strike,
would make the timing of that kind of hit together.
Yeah, but that's at the earliest. We may see it in 2026, and then dude, the girl is going to be playing Ellie is going to probably be like in college by the time this game until the second season of Last of Us comes out. I'm not gonna
lie, like she is not Ellie for me. I'm gonna be real. I have a hard time suspending the belief of her. Again, I'm not saying that she's not a good actress or whatever. That's just not Ellie to me.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
You know what I mean? Like I would have cast it differently personally.
I don't know. Like we'll definitely see.
What, me?
Yes.
Exactly. It would have been Lex intellectuals.
We need a deep fake. We need to deep fake your face into Ellie inside Last of Us. That's what would happen.
Out. Somebody get dog help.
What do you mean you gotta disagree with me, Poppy? What are you disagreeing with me about? About Ellie? About the actress Ramsey? Is that her name?
No, that's one of the characters she played in.
No,
Game of Thrones. In Game of Thrones, she was. Well, she wasn't the Ramsay.
She was in Game of Thrones,
but she wasn't a Ramsay. I don't think. But anyways,
no, she wasn't.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll close this off with Lex. What are you bringing to the table?
Well, so if you don't know, I never finished Spider-Man, and I'm not going to be playing Spider-Man 2, even though I would love to. I'm terrible at swinging, and fun fact, boys, what do I hate doing in games?
Oh,
taking pictures.
Thank you. Taking pictures. I don't like taking pictures. So Miles Morales, obviously that came out, and now Spider-Man 2, where Miles Morales is also in it. I was really ecstatic to hear that the person who played him in his little getup learned American Sign Language to play the role so he could interact with Haley. Now, in the new game, they have more interactions than they did previously. But for somebody who is disabled and took 4 years of American Sign Language, that makes me so happy for the deaf community. Apparently, people are boycotting it because of Haley, but that's another story for another time.
Well, do they not like? Wait, who would boycott a game because they're showing a deaf community? That's kind of messed up.
Yeah. I don't want to spoil why, but there's reasons, and there's stupid reasons, but mostly because they say that the game is too woke. Okay.
Oh,
Sorry that you get to experience something from someone else's life perspective.
Bruh,
oh no,
that's crazy.
Jesus, I hope these people.
I would have boycotted because of Mary J is too OP in that game. Personally, I would be like, that's life is life, man. I don't know what to say. But the person who played Spider-Man in Spider-Man 2 for Miles Morales is Najee Jeter, if you didn't know. He does the voice and the motion capture for him. So they're in those fun little suits. But he had to learn American Sign Language, and his big takeaway was he loved it. He absolutely loved it. He thought it was a blast to learn it. Of course, they did have interpreters on set, people who are in the deaf community. The deaf community is a very tight-knit group. If you didn't know, now you know. But they had people from the deaf community on set to make sure that he was doing it justice. And he absolutely loved it. And he said, I feel like we're touching a lot of communities. A lot of people out there can sometimes feel like they get excluded. But in Spider-Man 2, everyone is connected with this game, essentially. And I just thought it was so sweet. He expressed that he had an absolute blast learning it. He meant a lot, which he had a lot of sit-down sessions in order to make sure that he was getting things right with his finger movements. So from one non-deaf person to another, I think that's awesome. Welcome to the ASL community. So I was curious what you guys thought. Well, I mean, it's always nice to see if a person or if an actor is going to take it to the next level to kind of make sure that they give whatever their role justice and to make
absolutely.
Also to make it make sense, so I mean, anyone who's willing to spend the time to figure out how it is overall in the community to do it, I mean, because ASL is not easy, in my opinion, especially trying to learn it offhand. Because a deaf person will have to learn to communicate, but for a person like us, and stuff, it will take time. It does take a lot of time.
It takes quite a while.
Yeah, just to kind of get yourself acclimated to it. Just for simple words, can you imagine when you think about it, when you're raising a deaf person from a home, and then the family has to figure out has to learn it too with it. It takes literal years to kind of be okay.
Honestly, it would make you absolutely horrified and sad to find out that most families who are not deaf, that have deaf children, don't actually learn the entirety of the language, and it's horrible. So not only do a lot of people in the deaf community who are born deaf to families who are not feel excluded, but then if their family won't even try to learn with them, who else is going to? You know what I mean? So that's to me, that's really heartwarming that a game would take the time to do that, to make people feel included. And yeah, Papa Hendrix, apparently it is too woke to have a deaf character and for everybody to take the time out to learn their language, right? Because it's our world. They're just in it. Isn't that the truth?
That's crazy to think that people would even be salty about that. It's like, it's another perspective that you have no knowledge on. You know what I mean? Like, I'm interested in knowing what it's like to live in that world, because I don't know what it'd be like. And we've done things. I mean, you know, when both our kids were small, we used sign language to communicate, and kids are really receptive to that stuff. Being able to just basic things like being able to eat, saying I love you, things like that, you know. So I've mad props to the art, because part of acting and that stuff is also learning and being able to encompass that. And that means being able to get a good, legitimate grasp on what you're doing. So it comes off naturally. You're not acting, you know, you're not pretending to do it. You're legitimately doing it, which means you need to learn how to do it. And you know, within that, you learn how that affects in that community and other folks. That just being able, can you imagine just going somewhere already anticipating that, you know, people you're not gonna really be able to communicate with people, and somebody were to bust that out, like, you'd feel so good and so seen. Yeah, exactly. So it's like folks that look at this and be like, it's too woke. How dare you make me see that other people have problems that I don't have, and how you gonna shove that in my eyeballs? You know what I mean?
You know what? You know what though? To be fair, you know what? Whatever. If they didn't, I mean, at least they're doing one thing. At least they're not trying to push it on people's agenda to be like, oh, I can't believe you're playing this.
That's what I'm saying.
At least they
like,
openly said,
to make you do anything.
Well, they're not. They're not. They're basically saying they're not going to get the game because it's in it. But hey, they're like the people who are wanting to play it will play it. So I mean, it's a super successful game. I mean, still it's 5 million sold and stuff like that. So like, you know what? That's their loss. But overall, like, I mean, yeah. But to say like, dude, to say that that's to say that that's the catalyst that makes you not want to do it because it's an actor literally doing his job is just like, okay, whatever, man. Like, whatever. It's like there's no reason to even complain or argue with you at that point, you know?
I think a lot of it too is people will come out and say, oh, it's because of the, you know, they're speaking sign language that's woke, when in reality it's a Black girl who is deaf, and you don't want to live her experience. And like that, at least say it with your whole chest. Like, you don't have to say the quiet part quiet, because we already hear you. Just go ahead and say it at this point. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. People are silly. And
well, the whole thing
I
with,
just
like,
thought it was heartwarming.
The whole Miles Morales thing is like, it's not even their overall story. Yeah.
Read what Dog said.
I mean, and if we want to go back to the beginning, they wanted to boycott the Spider-Man movies because they said it was all based on religion. No, it wasn't.
Okay, whatever. But then again, those are people. Yeah, just people just being people, being
cry
stupid
about it.
But anyways, yeah. But no, it's cool that it's cool. It's cool that he took time to do it. I'm glad he definitely did a really good job on it, especially that he's that like I mean, I'm assuming that he's like, this is Haley is his version Mary J. I'm not sure, but like,
yeah, she is a love interest.
Yeah. So like, I mean, fine. I mean, that's cool. It's a nice different kind of twist, and that's something different than what we normally do. So we'll see. Have you played Spider-Man 2 yet, Smitty?
No, dude, I haven't even purchased it yet.
Oh,
that's how behind I am, dude. I've been finishing other games, and you know, I just haven't gotten around. Even though I finished Miles Morales.
Oh, you did?
So, like, I'm ready for it. I just haven't gotten around to picking it up because all of a sudden Super Mario RPG came out. Freaking Exo Primal dropped some stuff. You know, there's other things.
Oh, that's a game I never didn't get anything either for the Game Awards.
Exo Primal, I know, dude. Yeah. I know.
Oh, okay.
I know. Disappointing.
So anyways, okay, but that's cool. That's that's unfortunate, but still. But folks, thank you for listening to episode number 197 of the CFG Game Cast. Thank you for being a part of the conversation as always. We will be back again next week with a nice amount of different topics. it's Thanksgiving next week. I always forget that it's going to be Thanksgiving next week. Yes, but we're going to be there on Saturday every Saturday. So if you did miss out on this episode, that is perfectly all right. We do release it on all podcast services at the beginning of every Monday each week. So there is absolutely no reason to miss out on all sexy voices.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, guys, also be sure to go check out the most latest episode of Pop Culture Gems, where we talk to some of the Anime Frontier crew who's doing the next convention here in Dallas-Fort Worth area. So it's a really good conversation with 3 different awesome guests in one episode. But in the meantime, guys, once again, this is Davis, Lex, and Smitty signing out. Y'all, take it easy.
Happy Turkey Day.